The class beauty spread rumors that I was trying to seduce her boyfriend, so I directly posted intimate photos of myself kissing a girl, saying I'm a lesbian, all because I was reborn. In my previous life, the class beauty spread rumors that I was trying to seduce her boyfriend just to show off her own charm. Everyone called me a toad, delusional enough to try and seduce the prince. I was isolated by everyone in the class, and the class beauty led the way, cornering me in an alley to bully me. After finally managing to break free from them and run home, I was caught by thugs waiting at my doorstep, ultimately tortured to death and thrown into the sea. When I opened my eyes again, I found myself reborn to the moment just before the class beauty spread rumors about me seducing her boyfriend. This time, I prepared in advance, vowing to make the class beauty pay the price. When Lin Qianyan once again appeared before me with a stack of photos, just like in my previous life. Her face was tear-stained, and she questioned me with deep sorrow. Ning Yan, I consider you a friend, but you clearly know that Fui Bai is my boyfriend. Why did you deliberately seduce him? In my previous life, Lin Qianyan did the same thing. Her sudden accusations, along with a stack of intimate photos, left me speechless and unable to defend myself. From then on, I was labeled as a toad lusting after a swan's flesh. My classmates freely insulted and mocked me, calling me a green tea girl and a white lotus. No one at school was willing to talk to me anymore. I was isolated by everyone and developed severe depression, due to taking large amounts of antidepressants and experiencing hormonal imbalances. My body began to gain weight, and my face became covered in acne, which made my classmates dislike me even more. I fell into an endless cycle of self-doubt and negative spirals, eventually losing even my position among the top 10 students in my grade. Lin Yanran not only isolated me at school but also gathered a group of delinquent girls to corner me in an alley, strip me naked, and take humiliating photos. She even hired thugs to ambush me on my way home. In the end, I was captured by a group of hoodlums who tortured me to death, then bound my body with iron blocks in a burlap sack and threw it into the sea. Because of my disappearance, my mother went mad, and my father was deliberately run over and killed by that gang of thugs while searching for me. Since no body was found, those thugs and the class beauty ultimately faced no consequences at all. Lin Qianyan eventually got into university, and after graduation, she married the school heartthrob Fui Bai, living a privileged life as a wealthy lady. I, on the other hand, died with my eyes wide open, my soul lingering and unable to disperse. 10 years after my death, I encountered an evil god who told me that I had performed 10 great deeds of merit in my past life, and since I had died a tragic death in this life, I was destined for immense wealth and prosperity in the next. If I were to exchange the 10 great merits from my past life, it would be willing to help me be reborn and seek revenge. I agreed without hesitation, but I made one condition. I wanted to become 10 times more beautiful than the class beauty. Ning Yan, why aren't you saying anything? Did you deliberately try to seduce Fui Bai? Seeing that I ignored her, Lin Qianyan continued to put on a tearful performance. The boys nearby all transformed into knights in shining armor, condemning my indifference. You ugly witch, Qianyan considered you a friend, and you actually betrayed her. You ugly bitch are so disgusting. How dare you even think about Qianyan's boyfriend? Having someone like this in our class is truly a disgrace to class 5. Get out, get out. The voices insulting me kept coming one after another. Even though I hadn't spoken yet, the people around me seemed to have already decided that the truth was exactly what Lin Qianyan had said. An angry boy twisted open a bottle of cola in front of him and splashed it hard onto my face. The cold, bubbly cola covered my face completely. In my previous life, I was also splashed with cola by him, my hair sticking to my face, smearing the foundation cream I had applied and revealing the acne I couldn't hide. The boy immediately gagged on the spot, which deeply wounded my self-esteem. I didn't even have the words to defend myself, only able to weakly insist that I hadn't done anything. But no one was willing to believe the words of an ugly girl like me anymore. But this time is different. I calmly take off my glasses and tuck my hair behind my ears. I walk straight up to the boy who splashed cola on me and stare at him. Apologize. The boy is suddenly stunned by my appearance, and the surrounding classmates fall silent in shock. Lin Qianyan turned her back to me, still not understanding what was happening. Seeing the atmosphere grow cold, she continued to cry softly, saying, Ningyan, I'm sorry. Tianyu didn't mean it. He was just trying to help me. If you hadn't tried to seduce Bai, I couldn't take it anymore, and sneered. Just because of a few photos, you think I seduced Fui Bai? Do you think your boyfriend is so easily seduced by me? Lin Qianyan, are you underestimating yourself or overestimating me? I turned around to look at Lin Qianyan. At that moment, she also saw my face clearly and let out an incredulous scream. No way, Ning Yan, how could you look like this? How did your skin suddenly get so good? I clearly what? I was a bit puzzled. But Lin Qianyan suddenly came to her senses and abruptly shut her mouth. The classmates nearby were finally awakened by Lin Qianyan's scream. The classroom instantly erupted in commotion. My god, Ning Yan actually looks like this. She always wears thick bangs and black-rimmed glasses every day. I thought she was really ugly. She's a total knockout. Completely outshines Lin Qianyan by a mile. What's the use of being pretty? She likes to flirt with other people's boyfriends. Just wait until she sets her sights on your boyfriend, then you'll see, heh. I sneered inwardly, then turned my gaze back to Lin Qianyan. So, what should I look like then? Lin Qian's eyes were already filled with the fire of jealousy. Anyway, it's not like that. You clearly, I was looking forward to her continuing, but Lin Qianyan quickly came to her senses. Her voice took on a tearful tone again. Ning Yan, you can't just take advantage of your beauty to seduce Ibai. Ibai is my boyfriend, and I consider you my best friend, Lin Qianyan. Since you consider me your best friend, you have so little trust in me. Why don't you ask your boyfriend if I seduced him? Besides, I think you're overthinking it. Actually, I don't like men, I like women. These words once again shocked everyone. Lies. How could you possibly not like men? I don't believe it. Lin Qianyan was furious. A girl who was jealous of me chimed in to support Lin Qianyan. Exactly. Could it be that Ning Yan is deliberately lying to clear her name? Ugh, if Ning Yan really likes girls, that's so disgusting. I'd feel uncomfortable just being looked at by her. Hearing these words, I immediately pulled out the photo from my phone and threw it in front of everyone. Sorry, but I just happen to like girls. This is my partner, and as for this girl with bad breath, who would even want to look at you? Take a look at yourself, you're miles behind my girlfriend. We gay people have standards too, you know. For most of the people in this class, due to reasons from my past life, I held no fondness, so, without hesitation, I rolled my eyes at the girl, whose face instantly turned pale and then flushed with anger. Many of the boys, however, looked at me with shining eyes. Ning Yan is so cool, liking girls. Damn, does that mean she's our rival in love? What a shame that such a beautiful girl actually likes other girls. I hate it, beautiful Ning. I was wrong, look at me, I can be a girl too, you know. After this incident, no one believed Ning Yan's claim that I was trying to seduce Fu Yibai anymore. Some guys even started speaking up for me, but deep down, I sneered, thinking, what a pig brain that believes beauty is justice. Still, seeing Ning Yan get her comeuppance made me quite happy, since she went to such lengths to harm me, fought so desperately to keep Fu Yibai, and craved attention so much. I suppose I'll just have to reluctantly take away the things she cares about most. After that little incident, Fu Yibai, Lin Qianyan's official boyfriend, quickly found me. However, from what I remember, this guy and Lin Qianyan were not the same type of person. The handsome and tall young man looked like a slender bamboo, wearing a uniform short-sleeved shirt and black trousers, with just the right amount of muscle visible on his exposed arms and legs. Even though he was wearing the same school uniform as everyone else, he seemed to glow. His face was just too good-looking. No wonder Lin Qianyan went to great lengths to keep Fu Yibai by her side. He came from a good family, excelled in his studies, and was responsible. In my past life, my soul was bound to Lin Qianyan, so I knew everything about the two of them. It's clear that Fu Yibai is so outstanding, while Lin Qianyan, apart from her looks, is average in every other aspect. And even a murderer, yet Fu Yibai remains devoted to her, and this is only because Lin Qianyan and Fu Yibai were neighbors when they were young. At that time, Lin Qianyan's family had not yet fallen into decline, and the two could be considered childhood sweethearts. In Fu Yibai's heart, Lin Qianyan has always been the little girl who followed behind him, calling him brother, innocent, kind, pure, and harmless. In my past life, Fu Yibai never harmed me. Nor did he distance himself from me because others spoke ill of me. He simply treated everyone who wasn't a friend with equal indifference. But I had once turned to him for help, accusing Lin Qianyan of her bullying behavior in front of him, yet Fu Yibai did not believe me either. In his heart, Lin Qianyan is pure and kind. Though she may sometimes be a bit willful, she would never harm anyone. Then in this lifetime, I will personally shatter the disguise Lin Qianyan wears in front of him. Lin Qianyan, everything you care about, I will take it all away. Fui Bai's voice carried the unique coolness of youth, and it didn't change just because I had become more beautiful. His attitude remained the same as before. He simply apologized to me sincerely. Ningyan, I'm sorry, I didn't know Qianyan would misunderstand. I've already explained it to her, and she said she would apologize to you. I pretended to be understanding and said, it's fine, Qianyan is also a good friend of mine. I know she's just overly suspicious because she cares about you so much, thinking about how she doesn't even trust you. I, as just a good friend, suddenly feel relieved. Upon hearing my words, Fui Bai's furrowed brow relaxed slightly. However, I then changed my tone and added, besides, this time, since I've come out publicly, Qianyan probably won't be so suspicious anymore, but I really don't want to deceive everyone like this. Let me tell you a secret, I'm not actually gay. Upon hearing my words, a ripple of emotion finally appeared in Fui Bai's calm eyes. Understanding the confusion in his eyes, I continued, you know, Qianyan is my only friend. In the past, classmates thought I was aloof and didn't want to play with me. If it weren't for Qianyan, I still wouldn't have any good friends now, so I'm really afraid that Qianyan might overthink things and stop acknowledging me as a friend. At that time, I had no choice but to resort to this plan. Fui Bai, could you keep this secret for me? After speaking, I pretended to feel a bit down but forced a bright smile. Seeing my smile, Fui Bai froze for a moment. Watching Fui Bai turn and leave, a slight curve formed at the corner of my lips. Those in high positions, having been there for a long time, grow accustomed to looking down from above and to showing mercy. That is why Lin Qianyan disguised herself as the very person Fui Bai most wanted to protect, in my past life, during the years of my death. I was trapped by Lin Qianyan's side and gained a deep understanding of Fui Bai's emotions. Fui Bai appears to respect everyone equally, but in reality, he is distant and indifferent, so, he didn't actually like Lin Qianyan that much. He was just accustomed to exercising his protective instincts as someone in a higher position. At the same time, Fui Bai was also difficult to approach, so it was necessary to make reasonable use of him. On the afternoon of the day Fui Bai met with me, Lin Qianyan stopped me in the classroom. Her eyes were red, clearly having cried before coming to find me. Ning Yan, you still say you didn't seduce my boyfriend, then why were you together again today? This time, I could see that Lin Qianyan was genuinely somewhat heartbroken and panicked. If the previous photos were a setup, this time, it was Fui Bai who personally sought me out, and because of the carefully crafted misalignment I created, Fui Bai didn't seem as cold and distant as usual. Others might not notice, but Lin Qianyan absolutely could not fail to detect it. I pretended to be shocked. Qianyan, you actually hired someone to follow and secretly photograph us. Fui Bai is your boyfriend, and he said he already explained things to you. Are you really unwilling to believe him? To be honest with you, Fui Bai came to me to apologize. That time before, he was just asking me about you. We're good friends. Why won't you believe me? I tried my best to put on an expression of deep hurt, and my look of disappointment and sorrow indeed won me quite a few sympathy votes. Ever since I took the opportunity to reveal my face last time, I've taken off my thick-framed glasses and combed my heavy bangs up into a high ponytail. Looking clean and pretty, sometimes you really have to admit that beauty is indeed a powerful weapon. Just like now, seeing Lin Qianyan causing trouble for me again, many people around are speaking up for me. Lin Qianyan, Fui Bai has already clarified that Ning Yan didn't seduce him. They are just simple classmates. Now you're still bothering Ning Yan. I think you're going too far. Exactly. Instead of worrying about Ning Yan seducing Fui Bai, I actually think it's more likely she'd be interested in you. After all, the gender gap is hard to cross, isn't it? Watching my classmates chattering away to defend me, even though some of them didn't bully me in my past life, they chose to remain silent when Lin Qianyan bullied me, and even isolated me to avoid trouble. So, I still don't have much goodwill toward them. Lin Qianyan grew even more furious, her face turning ashen with rage. Ning Yan, you really have some nerve. It's only been a few days, and now everyone is speaking up for you, you wretched woman. Lin Qianyan suddenly grabbed the Oxford Dictionary from the table and hurled it at me. I couldn't dodge in time, and the heavy book struck my cheek with a solid thud. A wound instantly appeared on one side of my forehead, and bright red blood trickled down from the corner of my brow, blurring my vision in an instant. Unexpectedly, He Tianyu, who had been Lin Qianyan's most loyal follower in Class 5, was the first to jump in and help me. Damn, you can talk all you want, but why did you have to get physical? Lin Qianyan, criticized by this former follower, instantly grew even more furious and lost all reason, but she had hurt someone first and was in the wrong, so no matter how much she cried, everyone just watched her coldly, seeing the situation turning against her. Lin Qianyan bit her lip and ran out sobbing. A classmate, unable to hold back their frustration, said in disbelief. I never thought Lin Qianyan was that kind of person, hurting someone and then running off without any sense of responsibility. I continued to pretend to be magnanimous, saying, Qianyan didn't mean it, she was just too anxious. He Tianyu, weren't you close with her before? You should go check on her. I'm worried she might get into trouble running off in such a panic. Ningyan, what are you still defending her for at a time like this? I think she's always been suspicious and paranoid. There must be something wrong with her mentally. In a way, He Tianyu was a straightforward guy who would latch onto any comment and run with it. Let's take you to the infirmary first. This incident quickly spread throughout the school. The class beauty and school beauty of class 5, grade 11, got into a fight over the school heartthrob of the same grade, and one of them was reportedly sent to the hospital in just a few days. I went from being an ugly duckling to the school beauty, but I can't figure it out. Although the evil god granted me beauty, my face is actually the same as in my previous life. It's just that my originally sallow, acne, and hormone-spotted complexion has become fair and smooth. Could it be true that a fair complexion hides 100 flaws? But actually, before I developed acne in middle school, I really wasn't ugly. However, I was very overweight. Later, when I entered high school, I made up my mind to lose weight. After I slimmed down, my face became a hormone-damaged mess from taking diet pills. Lin Qianyan and I met in high school, in the second semester of our first year. When I was determined to lose weight, she not only encouraged and helped me, recommended diet pills with healthy ingredients, but also gave me extremely expensive skincare products. That's why I trusted her so much that when she later accused me of seducing Fui Bai, I was too shocked to even refute it. I even wondered if she had just misunderstood me and desperately tried to explain myself to her. Now that I think about it, why would she, the class belle who was the center of attention, come to help a nobody like me lose weight and give me skincare products? Could it be that she already resented me back then? Unfortunately, all those medicines and skincare products were used up long ago, and the bottles were taken away by Lin Qianyan under the guise of environmental recycling. Fui Bai was the first to appear at the infirmary. When he saw me, his eyes were filled with apology. Ning Yan, I'm sorry, it's all because of me. Due to the injury and blood loss, my originally fair skin turned even paler. With a bandage on my forehead, I said weakly, Fui Bai, you don't need to apologize to me. This has nothing to do with you, it's just that Qianyan misunderstood again. It seems that you and I shouldn't meet anymore in the future. You should go. If Qianyan finds out you came to see me again, who knows what she'll think. Maybe only if we have no contact at all will she feel at ease. Fui Bai didn't expect me to say that, but he didn't move his feet. His voice, however, turned somewhat cold. Who I befriend is none of her business. You should rest first. I'll cover all the medical expenses. After saying that, Fui Bai turned and left. The timing still wasn't quite right, but this was only the first step in breaking down Lin Qianyan's confidence. For 3 days in a row, Lin Qianyan didn't come to school. Instead, Fui Bai came to see me several times, each time either bringing some food and drinks or simply sitting face to face without speaking. Fui Bai didn't speak, and neither did I. The two of them stared at each other in silence, but in the end, Fui Bai couldn't hold back and spoke first. The young man's voice betrayed no emotion. Do I really make you so unwilling to talk to me? I shook my head, then nodded, and finally spoke. I'm afraid Qianyan might misunderstand. Fui Bai's brief silence was his response to me. You care so much about her feelings, even after she's repeatedly misunderstood you, even hurt you. She doesn't mean it, and besides, she's my only friend. Kind, innocent, straightforward. I believe she'll come to understand. Mentioning Lin Qianyan, I smiled brilliantly, the joy coming from the bottom of my heart. Fui Bai's face remained silent, but I noticed his gaze seemed to soften a bit after seeing my smile. I knew he was genuinely a little disappointed in Lin Qianyan this time. A daughter flower can occasionally act willfully to seek attention, but it shouldn't turn into an unreasonable shrew. However, I couldn't push my luck by speaking ill of Lin Qianyan. After all, no matter how much she acted out, her position in Fui Bai's heart was still far higher than mine. Fui Bai, at most, is just a little curious about me now. He doesn't even have any fondness for me yet. However, as long as he comes to me, I'm confident he'll gradually develop feelings for me. Fui Bai sought me out for over half a month straight, and during that time, we went from initial silence to gradually starting to talk about some topics. The first week, I made it clear that he came to me because of Lin Qianyan. Lin Qianyan refused to apologize to me, and because of this, she wouldn't return to school, making Fu Yibai feel that his hidden authority as a superior was being challenged, so he deliberately got close to me, firstly to provoke Lin Qianyan and make her submit, and secondly because what Lin Qianyan did had crossed his tolerance threshold. Lin Qianyan's extreme paranoia and the possessiveness she showed toward Fu Yibai were not qualities befitting the future daughter-in-law of the wealthy Fu family. Fu Yibai might be taming Lin Qianyan, and also giving her a chance, an opportunity to become a daughter-in-law of the Fu family, but it seems Lin Qianyan is about to miss it. How pitiful, she has been longing for this opportunity. In the second week, Fu Yibai and I got along better and better, after deeper conversations. Fu Yibai discovered that not only do we share the same interests and hobbies, but our personalities also click. For example, we both enjoy history. We talk from ancient times to the modern era, from historical legends to unofficial anecdotes, from a powerful emperor to a name that appeared only once in a history book. Yes, Fu Yibai, a science student, actually loves physics the most, even though his report card shows such balanced grades across all subjects. But in my past life, I had already discovered that in Fu Yibai's study, the history books in the most remote corner actually showed the heaviest signs of being read. For example, Fu Yibai, like many young people, also enjoys esports. In my past life, as a ghost, I was so shocked when I discovered Fu Yibai watching esports matches on his private computer in his study, the one no one else was allowed to touch, that my ghostly head nearly fell off. After being reborn, I learned a lot about esports online and even filled an entire notebook with notes, so when I casually mentioned that I liked a certain esports team, I clearly saw surprise and joy in his eyes. I knew exactly which football team he liked best, and I knew that he had a little-known childhood dream of becoming an outstanding astronaut. Lin Qianyan had been missing from campus for half a month, and I had completely pried open a corner of Fu Yibai's heart. In fact, I was quite grateful that no matter how capable Fu Yibai was now, he was still just a young man, not yet grown into the decisive, cold, and noble CEO he would become 10 years later, so he was still relatively easy to fool. Lin Qianwei finally returned after disappearing from school for half a month. When Lin Qianyan gritted her teeth and apologized to me, I lowered my head for a second to summon tears. With tears also glistening in my eyes, I said with a moved expression, "Qianyan, everything is in the past now, we are still the best of friends." Because Fu Yibai was watching, Lin Qianyan still forced a smile with all her might, but it was truly strained and unpleasant. Pretending not to notice, I held back my disgust and took Lin Qianyan's hand, saying, "Qianyan, you haven't been to school for the past 2 weeks and have fallen behind in your studies. Let me help you catch up." Lin Qianyan grabbed one of my hands tightly, and I felt a bit of pain, but she quickly let go. "Thank you, Aining, but there's no need. I've been studying on my own at home these past few days." After Fu Yibai left, Lin Qianyan finally flung my hand away. Her eyes were filled with disgust. "Ning Yan, what are you? You think you're worthy of being my friend? I only ever used you as a foil to make myself look better. I never thought you, a dog, would dare bite your master. Let me tell you, you disgust me the most. You're an ugly, lowly rat. How dare you share the name Yan? The first time I saw you, I almost threw up, you know that." Lin Qianyan smiled with cruelty and disdain, knowing full well what she was like. I still put on a face of shock and hurt. "What, Qianyan, is that really how you see me? So you never actually considered me a friend? You used to say that having Yan in both our names was fate, that you wanted to be friends with me, encouraged me to lose weight, and even gave me makeup. Why would you do this to me, last time? When you accused me of trying to seduce Fu Yibai, were you doing it on purpose?" Lin Qianyan laughed triumphantly. "Ha, you finally figured it out. How could Yibai ever take a liking to someone like you? For someone like him, even glancing at you is an act of charity. Yes, I did it on purpose, just to get Yibai's attention. But so what? He still trusts me, he still loves me. Do you really think he came to see you these past few days because he cared? He was just trying to make me jealous. And by the way, do you know why you developed that hormonal acne? Because the weight loss pills and skincare products I gave you were all laced with banned substances. You fool." Lin Qianyan laughed at me loudly. I covered my face and lowered my head, crying, but in reality, my nails were almost digging into my palms. My tears fell in large drops, making me look utterly heartbroken, but in a voice only Lin Qianyan could hear, I said. Oh, really? Yet it's someone like me, a worthless piece of trash you look down on, who has made you scheme so carefully, as if facing a formidable enemy, and made the fooey you care about seem genuinely interested in me, and since you've accused me of seducing him, I might as well really seduce him, you, bang. The moment Lin Qianyan reached out to push me, I pretended to struggle and let myself fall backward, using the force of her push. Fu Yibai still considered Lin Qianyan's dignity and didn't demand she apologize in front of the whole class. Instead, they arranged to meet in the stairwell of the lab building, which was near Fu Yibai's secret base. I had noticed the surveillance camera in the stairwell corridor earlier, and just now, I deliberately provoked Lin Qianyan. Compared to the torment I endured in my past life, the pain of falling down the stairs is nothing. However, when I fell, the back of my head was still injured, and I bled on the spot. I immediately felt that this bitter flesh scheme seemed too reckless. I even worried that I might actually die. Fortunately, at the critical moment, a faint figure of a woman with long hair appeared and infused power into my body. Feeling the power of the evil god, I finally felt at ease and passed out. When I woke up again, I was in a hospital ward. I had been unconscious for a full week, during which I was transferred from the intensive care unit to a general ward. Seeing the blood on the ground, Lin Qianyan ran away immediately. I heard that I was discovered by a teacher who was on their way to the laboratory at the time. If he hadn't called 120 in time, I would have already bled to death. Surprisingly, Fu Yibai was actually sitting by my bedside. He was filled with guilt at that moment. Ning Yan, I'm sorry. If I hadn't forced Qian Yan to come and apologize to you, I don't think this would have happened to you. I've already reported it to the police, but Qian Yan probably didn't mean to push you on purpose. She explained at the police station that it was because you deliberately provoked her at the time. I'm not questioning you, I just want to confirm with you, is what she said true? My eyes were filled with pain, tears streaming down my face as I shook my head slightly. No, I don't want to talk about it. Fu Yibai, please go back. Let me be alone for a while. I turned my back to Fu Yibai. Ignoring him, a sharp pang struck his heart. One was a girl he had known for over a decade, the other a girl he had met just over half a month ago, yet with whom he felt a deep spiritual connection. The first to truly move him, he didn't know whom to believe. Fu Yibai left in the end, quietly, his retreating figure looking lonely. Fu Yibai's reaction was within my expectations. After all, Lin Qianyan has been his childhood sweetheart for over a decade, and she never expected to make Fu Yibai completely dislike her in one go. After all, these are not mere objects but living, breathing people, and emotions are inherently complex and varied. However, once the seed of doubt is sown, it can never be uprooted. Why did Fu Yibai come to ask me? It's probably because he already had the answer in his heart. If he truly believed Lin Qianyan, he wouldn't have come to confirm it with me. I have full confidence in my acting skills in the hallway that day. After all, who would believe that a girl who looked so heartbroken in a small surveillance video would still have the time to provoke someone else? As for Lin Qianyan, she was the one who got angry first, and she was also the one who stomped her feet and pushed others. Even though the surveillance footage couldn't capture sound, it was focused on Lin Qianyan. These days, there are plenty of experts who can read lips. It's not like I forced her to say those things. But a little more fuel is still needed. I won't let go of anyone who hurt me and my parents in my past life, because I was a minor, and Lin Qianyan pushing me down the stairs wasn't intentional but an accident. In the end, Lin Qianyan only received a verbal warning from the police and was responsible for all my hospitalization expenses, plus compensating me with a sum of money. The Lin family hired a top lawyer, and I settled. What else could I do if I didn't settle? Lin Qianyan wasn't going to jail anyway. Even though the Lin family had declined, a starved camel is still bigger than a horse. Besides, Fu Yibai and the Fu family behind him wouldn't just stand by and watch Lin Qianyan go to prison. Over a decade, even raising a little cat or dog would foster some affection, let alone a person. I didn't expect to completely change Lin Qianyan's status with this one incident, but loosening it a bit was still possible. Fu Yibai still broke up with Lin Qianyan. The Lin family also lost the Fu family's investment. The already precarious Lin family now faces even greater difficulties. Fu Yibai appeared in my hospital room once again. Ningyan, I'm sorry. I know why Fu Yibai is apologizing. It's okay, I understand. I genuinely considered her a friend before, even though we can't be friends now. Even though she deliberately added banned substances to my diet pills and skincare products, I don't want her life to be ruined because of this. I'm willing to forgive her. Upon hearing this, Fui Bai looked even more remorseful, his eyes glistening with tears as he looked at me. Ning Yan, Lin Qianyan and I have broken up. From now on, the Fu family and the Lin family will also cut off all ties. This time, she hurt you, and even though I let her off, it was only out of consideration for the friendship we shared growing up. I believe she won't dare to do it again. Lin Qianyan herself seems to have been quite frightened by this incident. I nodded along on the surface, but inwardly sneered. How could that be possible? Who would have thought that the decisive and ruthless Fui Bai from later on still had such a naive moment now? Well then, this time, I'll let everyone see Lin Qianyan's true colors clearly once and for all. Ningyan, actually, I wanted to say, Lin Qianyan and I have broken up. Do you feel a little happier? The tall young man stammered for the first time. Actually, I have feelings for you. I stopped him. Fui Bai, could you please not say it for now? I just lost a friend, and I really don't want to focus on anything else right now. Fui Bai remained silent for a long time before slowly saying, all right, then you should rest well. We can talk about other things another time. Then I'll be going first. You get some good rest. As Fui Bai turned to leave the hospital room, I still called out to him, but Fui Bai, could you come keep me company more often? It's actually quite boring being alone in the hospital. A slightly happy voice came from behind. Okay. After waking up, I spent another full week in the hospital before I was finally discharged. My relationship with Fui Bai also made rapid progress. After being discharged, I quickly returned to my previous study routine. Surprisingly, Lin Qianyan was there too, but she seemed to have learned her lesson many times. I could clearly see the hidden resentment and intense hatred in her eyes. I didn't deliberately try to isolate her, but she ended up being ostracized by the entire class. Everyone in the class knew about the incident where she pushed me down the stairs. High school conflicts usually just involve arguments and noise, but someone like Lin Qianyan, who resorts to life-threatening actions over a disagreement, made many classmates keep their distance from her. However, Lin Qianyan had quite a few friends, including many students from other classes whom she had known before. Among them were even 2 people who had cornered me in an alley in my previous life. At that time, I was stripped naked by a group of them. They poured trash over my head, and took humiliating photos of me. Even though it had been 10 years since the rebirth, I still felt a chill in my heart. Watching Lin Qianyan pull a few so-called good friends into the restroom, I immediately felt a sense of vigilance. But after 3 days in a row, everything remained calm and peaceful. Until that evening study session ended. Just as I stepped out of the school gate, I found myself cornered. A few tough girls dragged me into a small alley next to the school. Lin Qianyan was indeed waiting inside. All the tough girls around were heavily made up, while Lin Qianyan still wore her kind and innocent appearance, though her smile was ugly and unpleasant. Ning Yan, I told you, you can't bear the consequences of offending me. Another girl beside her said, sisters, come on, hold her down. Strip her clothes, and take a few photos of her. She'll behave after that. What are you doing? Help, help, woo-woo. I struggled desperately, feeling the zipper of my school uniform jacket being pulled down and the short-sleeved shirt inside being lifted from the waist. I struggled even more fiercely. Finally, at the critical moment, a strong beam of light shone into the alley. Fui Bai appeared at the entrance of the alley with a middle-aged man. From a distance, I could still see the anger on his face. Uncle Zhong, catch them and take them to the police station. Lin Qianyan finally knew fear, trembling as she lowered her head and began to cry softly. Brother Bai, I was forced into it too. I tried to persuade them not to hurt Ningyan, but they wouldn't listen. Fui Bai sneered coldly. Lin Qianyan, do you think I'm blind? You can explain it to the police yourself. Fui Bai stepped forward and wrapped me in his coat. Ningyan, I'm sorry I'm late. I shook my head, but my body trembled with fear beneath my school uniform jacket. Fui Bai instantly felt even more heartbroken for me. I never expected Lin Qianyan to be that kind of person. We were all deceived by her. She hurt you, and this time I won't let her off. Fui Bai's voice was cold, piercing through the summer night with an icy chill. Well, I'm tired. Fui Bai, take me back. I pretended to be utterly exhausted and was helped into his family's car by Fui Bai. Today, when I sensed something was off, I had already sent a message to Fui Bai. I didn't expect him to arrive even faster than I had anticipated. Fui Bai, you've been deceived by Ning Yan. She's nothing but a wicked woman. Fui Bai, you'll regret it. Regret losing someone like me who loves you wholeheartedly. Only I truly love you with all my heart. Lin Qianyan shouted after us. Ning Yan, you will face retribution. Hee, I'm waiting to see your downfall. Upon hearing Lin Qianyan's words, I slightly curved my lips. Lin Qianyan, it's fine, no matter what my fate is tonight will only be your end. Fu Yibai dropped me off at the entrance of our residential area. Our neighborhood is an old community with buildings over 10 stories high and no elevators. I live on the 5th floor, and I didn't let Fu Yibai come up. After politely saying goodbye, I started climbing the stairs. The old residential complex was poorly managed, with the stairwells cluttered with all sorts of junk. The lights in the stairwell flickered on and off, highlighting the shabbiness of the place. Just as I reached my door and was about to take out my keys to unlock it, I couldn't find them no matter how hard I searched. At that moment, footsteps suddenly came down from the 6th floor. 7 or 8 yellow-haired delinquents actually came down from upstairs. Their eyes were fixed tightly on me. I turned and ran downstairs, but those few were faster. Holding onto the stair railing, they leaped and landed right behind me. Someone grabbed one of my arms and dragged me backward. Before I could even see the person clearly, a slap had already landed. Half of his face instantly swelled up high. Run. Why aren't you running now, you bitch? Still dare to run, boss? What do we do now? I've observed and asked around. This bitch's parents aren't home recently. Let's open the door and go inside. Today, we'll have a good time at this bitch's house. My backpack was roughly searched through by someone, and a man with a fat head, big ears, and a face full of pimples, unable to find what he was looking for, punched me hard. Bitch, where's your house key? I shook my head desperately. I can't find it. I was just trying to open the door, but I couldn't find the key. Liar, looks like you're asking for a beating. If you don't tell the truth now, I'll take care of you right here. Really, it might have fallen downstairs. I threw out the trash just before entering the building, and I might have accidentally dropped the keys along with it. I trembled all over as I spoke. My fear of these people wasn't feigned. The nightmare experiences from my past life flashed before my eyes like a revolving lantern, and I had still underestimated my own psychological resilience. I thought that if Fu Yibai didn't show up soon, I would have to call upon my evil god, but this time, heaven finally heard my prayers. Just as the thugs were discussing sending someone down to find the key, hurried footsteps suddenly echoed from downstairs. You're looking for death. Fu Yibai's voice was filled with uncontrollable anger. Well, the little lover is here. Perfect. We were just thinking one stinky woman wasn't exciting enough. Come join us for some fun. If we're happy, we might just let her go. What answered the thugs was Fu Yibai's fist. Bang, the yellow-haired guy's head was knocked sideways, and the muscles exposed by Fu Yibai were bulging with veins. Soon, he started fighting with several thugs in the narrow stairwell. Fu Yibai was quite skilled. But these thugs weren't just idling around in society either. Fighting one against many, Fu Yibai didn't gain the upper hand and instead suffered quite a few injuries. Fu Yibai retreated while fighting, reaching my side and grabbing hold of me. Can you still run? Yes, good, let's run downstairs. My bodyguard is waiting there. Fu Yibai kicked the first thug to the ground, fearing he would be crushed by the person in front, taking advantage of the moment when the people behind dodged. Fu Yibai grabbed me and pulled me downstairs. With Fu Yibai pulling me along, my speed was much faster than before. The distance of 5 floors wasn't far, and just as we were about to exit the building, the bodyguards outside had already heard the commotion and rushed in. The bodyguards, who had undergone top-tier training, handled a few thugs with relative ease. After the group was finally subdued, we were all taken to the police station. The case was reviewed quickly. These people had originally thought they were foolproof, so they had no time to destroy the evidence of the transactions on their phones. All kinds of chat records, as well as Lin Chinyan's transfers to the thugs, were uncovered. The police conducted separate interrogations, breaking through each one individually. The conspiracy targeting me was quickly uncovered. Lin Qianyan knelt on the ground, weeping bitterly. Ningyan, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I lost my mind. Can you forgive me, brother Yibai? It's Qianyan, you've helped me before. Please help me again this time. I'll change. I know I was wrong. Don't send me to prison, I beg you. Unfortunately, because Lin Qianyan was a minor and the crime was attempted, she was only sentenced to 5 years in prison. As for those hooligans, due to previous cases that were uncovered because of this incident, they were sentenced to prison terms ranging from 3 to 15 years. However, if they manage to survive their sentences and get out, they will come to realize that the outside world is the real hell. 3 years later, Lin Qianyan was released from prison. The Lin family had long gone bankrupt, and no one had the energy to pay attention to this daughter who had just been released. while walking home alone, Lin Qianyan suddenly vanished into thin air, back when she and those thugs were at each other's throats. They had already developed a deep hatred for her. Although the big brother couldn't come out because he was serving his sentence, it was said that he ordered his former underlings to kidnap Lin Qianyan on the day she was released from prison. Those people were already ruthless. After tormenting Lin Qianyan, one of the thugs who had been imprisoned because of her used his connections to sell her to Myanmar. It was said that Lin Qianyan was sold to a brothel, a place where even paying a ransom wouldn't get her out, and she would have to stay there for the rest of her life. Several of the thugs were reported to be involved in Lin Qianyan's disappearance. In the end, the recently released individuals were locked up again, and the leader, for inciting crime, had no foreseeable release date. However, this time they were not so fortunate, as they were unfortunately placed with the most vicious criminals in the prison. They suffered daily torment and were all dead within 2 years. With revenge complete, my deal with the evil god came to an end. The other party completely disappeared. Although I used the 10 great merits from my previous life as a trade, I am still grateful to the evil god for giving me the chance to be reborn. It even saved me at a critical moment, though that was part of the deal from the very beginning. 1 rebirth plus 3 life-saving talismans, because I only used 1 life-saving talisman. The evil god actually returned 1 merit to me after the transaction ended. It said that with this merit, although I might not be wealthy and prosperous in my next life, I could still live a peaceful and joyful life. From this perspective, this evil deity doesn't seem all that evil. Fui Bai and I ultimately didn't end up together. There are no perfect people in the world. It's all about how one weighs their strengths and weaknesses. But when it comes to Fui Bai, I can't be rational. If not for the reasons from our past life, Fui Bai would actually be considered a decent person. Actually, he didn't do anything wrong to me in my past life either. His preference for Lin Qianyan was based on the more stable trust between them. After being reborn, I used him to get back at Lin Qianyan and to deal with those troublemakers. But I had no other choice, although the Lin family has fallen from grace. The remaining social connections and relationships are still difficult for an ordinary person like me to handle. Both of my parents are ordinary people, so when I suspected that Lin Qianyan would eventually seek revenge, I sent them back to our hometown in advance. I don't want them to know about this. They're just ordinary people, and I'm grateful that they can live peacefully for the rest of their lives. As for those troublemakers, I knew from the start they wouldn't be easy to deal with. Killing them would affect the rest of my life, and sending them to prison would only get them a few years for their crimes. I don't have the patience to waste my life on these people. I've been reborn, and I have more meaningful things to do, so I could only use Fui Bai to help me get revenge, allowing me to break free as soon as possible and avoid being dragged down by the quagmire of vengeance for a lifetime. Even when I was finally cornered by those thugs and Fui Bai came looking for me, it was all part of my plan. I intentionally left the car key in Fui Bai's car when I got out, but I still couldn't overcome the guilt in my heart. After the college entrance exam, I was admitted to a university deep inland, far from the sea, while Fui Bai went to Beijing. To this day, he still doesn't know how I used him back then, nor does he realize that what he thought was a deep connection and unspoken understanding was actually my calculated scheme. For 4 years in college, he traveled countless times between Beijing and Xi'an, eagerly awaiting my response. With everything appearing perfectly normal, I don't know if he ever noticed, nor do I know if the more mature version of him in the future will uncover the subtle signs from our youth, so I plan to leave the answer to time. After hearing the first story above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Next, there is another similar story. Let's continue to see. During the summer vacation after the college entrance exam, my boyfriend wanted to go on a cave exploration at Wild Mountain. I advised him not to go. Others were trapped in the cave and died on the spot. Only my boyfriend and I managed to escape. Years later, we graduated smoothly and began discussing marriage, but on the day of the wedding, my boyfriend strangled me to death with the veil. If you hadn't stopped me from exploring back then, Luna wouldn't have died. It turns out that my boyfriend has always resented me for stopping him from exploring, blaming me for the death of his white moonlight. When I opened my eyes again, I had been reborn on the day of the exploration. The underground cave was pitch black and bottomless. My boyfriend gasped excitedly, asking me eagerly, "Honey, should we keep going forward? Should we keep going forward?" Hearing my boyfriend's voice, I immediately shuddered. In my memory, I was strangled to death by him. In the hotel's wedding venue, in the presence of family and friends, my boyfriend lifts my veil. I close my eyes, waiting for the kiss, but the next second, suddenly, my boyfriend lunges forward, using the veil to tightly strangle my neck. the veins in his hands bulging, bang, the microphone crashed violently to the ground, the host screamed in terror, and the crowd panicked and fled. My boyfriend tightened the veil, his eyes bloodshot and red. I struggled, crying out, "Ah," and asked in confusion, "Why, John, why do you want to kill me?" We had gone from campus to wedding gowns, saved up millions in savings, and had just bought a house. I still have his child in my womb. Why did he do this? John suddenly exerted force, tightening the veil around my neck. My vision blurred. I heard his sorrowful and resolute voice. "If you hadn't stopped me from going on that adventure back then, Luna wouldn't have died, originally." He had always resented me for stopping him from exploring the cave during our senior year summer trip. He even believed that I was responsible for the death of his beloved, so he lay low for years, deliberately seeking revenge on me at the wedding. But, if I hadn't stopped him back then, we're all going to die in this cave, baby. My boyfriend's call brought me back to reality. I have truly been reborn. This was the 4th day of our summer vacation trip, exploring Wild Mountain. At this moment, we are currently in a rock cave more than 300 meters underground. The air is thin, and the surroundings are cold and pitch black. Only the searchlight above our heads emits a faint glow. I spoke coldly. "John, aren't you the team leader? Why are you asking for my opinion? Since you're so eager to rush to your own death, then of course I'll choose to oblige." In my previous life, John was also here, asking me if we should keep going. At that time, I sensed danger and insisted on pulling John back the way we came, but my best friend Luna insisted on continuing deeper into the cave, so we split into 2 groups and parted ways at this entrance. In the end, the group led by Luna got lost and were trapped in the cave, dying on the spot. My boyfriend clearly escaped the disaster because of my intervention, but he turned around and blamed Luna's death on me. In this life, without my intervention, my boyfriend decisively said, "Since everyone agrees, let's continue deeper." "Wait," I called out, "I want to withdraw here." "Nonsense." My boyfriend frowned and scolded sharply. "We've come all this way with great difficulty, and you want to turn back?" I retorted. "It was you and Luna who tricked me into coming here in the first place. I have no interest in adventure at all. The one who truly loves adventure is Luna, not me." After the college entrance exam, my boyfriend and my best friend said they were taking me on a trip to surprise me. I thought they would take me to some trendy tourist spot, but who would have guessed they would bring me all the way to the Wild Mountain no man's land. Hearing my words, a flicker of guilt flashed across my boyfriend and best friend's faces. I sneered, "I won't trouble you, just give me a map, and I can find my own way." We have been inside the cave for several hours now. The terrain here is complex, with several branching paths along the way, but if we had a map, I am confident we could find our way back without trouble. Yet my boyfriend still disagrees. "I'm not comfortable with you going back alone, Julia. Be good, stay with the group." Luna chimed in, "Yeah, Julia, we've come all this way. Why do you have to back out now?" The others looked at me with unfriendly expressions. According to John, he and Luna's friends were all avid adventure enthusiasts who had once broken into a locked cave in a scenic area and camped in the wilderness. This time, they came to Wild Mountain specifically to explore this underground cave. What if we discover a gold mine here? Along the way, we saw many traces of life from before the founding of the country. There might be surprises inside, and we could strike it rich. They had high hopes for this expedition, therefore. My decision to leave was met with visible disapproval. We remained at a standoff for a while. Luna spoke up, "If you want to go back, leave your searchlight and supplies behind." "Why should I?" I said coldly. "It's pitch black in the cave. Asking me to give you the searchlight is practically asking for my life." Luna quickly hid behind my boyfriend and stuck out her tongue. "You're going back anyway, so you won't need these things." "Fine. If you won't give it, then don't. No need to be so harsh." My boyfriend glared at me. "All right, hurry up and leave. The air is thin down here, and you've already wasted enough of everyone's time." I said, "I'm not leaving. Can't you understand human speech? Give me the map." John frowned tightly, his handsome face showing impatience. "I don't have any extra maps here." I didn't believe it at all and rushed over to search my boyfriend's bag, finding a spare map. "What's this then?" My boyfriend felt embarrassed and his expression turned somewhat unpleasant. Luna, however, rushed out at that very moment. With a ripping sound, she tore the map to pieces. "Are you crazy?" I exclaimed in disbelief. My boyfriend tightly gripped my shoulders. The map fragments were lightly tossed deep into the cave. "All right, now the map is gone too. Let's hurry and go." My boyfriend patted me. The others glared at me, annoyed that I had wasted their time. Among them, A girl in red rolled her eyes at me. Are you done yet, John? This kind of girl is just being dramatic. Luna also chimed in at the right moment. Julia, you're not in good health, John, and I really don't feel comfortable letting you go back alone. Just keep going with us. But in her eyes, there was clearly unmistakable malice. She knew full well that I wasn't in good health, yet she deliberately brought me along for this adventure. Wasn't that just to make a fool out of me? I gritted my teeth and reluctantly agreed. Fine, I'll go with you. I want to stay and watch you all march to your doom with my own eyes. Nature's craftsmanship is both dangerous and enchanting. We continued forward, passing by many stalactite formations and the rushing underground rivers along the way. How beautiful! Luna was very excited and handed me her phone, asking me to take a photo of her and my boyfriend. She tightly held onto John's arm, their fingers intertwined in the dark. The way John unintentionally looked at her was both restrained and affectionate, but I just want to vomit. John and Luna are my high school classmates. After the college entrance exam, it was with Luna's help that I confessed to John, but who would have thought that the two of them were actually having an affair? Now that I've been reborn, I finally understand. They were only after my family's wealth and my generosity as a friend, deliberately teaming up to deceive me, squeezing money out of me, and treating me like a fool. I threw my phone directly onto the floor, letting John glare at me with a livid expression. Besides the stalactites, there were also traces of 20th century activity in the cave. Someone excitedly pointed and shouted, another saltpeter maker. Continuing downward, the entrance began to narrow. I glanced at the Beidou watch on my wrist. Currently, we have reached a depth of 400 meters underground. In my previous life, I had not ventured this deep into the cave. By the light of the searchlight, I carefully examined the surrounding stone walls. My family runs a mining company, so I have been familiar with various ores since childhood. The rock wall here shows clear quartz vein mineralization, with a faint hint of green and gold. The green could be from associated minerals. As for that touch of gold, thinking of one possibility, my palms began to sweat. Could it be a gold mine? The people ahead walked further away, not noticing the pause in my steps. I suppressed my pounding heart, pretending as if nothing had happened, and continued following them. We took another break at a slightly wider opening of the cave. Walking to this point, I already feel a bit of chest tightness due to insufficient oxygen concentration. John held the map and gestured. The cave ahead is called the Death Maze. No one has ever explored this place. Luna also got excited, shaking John's arm. When we make it through the entire Death Maze, we'll rename it after both of us. John's gaze softened. All right, I'm afraid they won't have that opportunity. In the previous life, Luna and the others met their end here. The Death Maze has a complex terrain, with an average cave diameter of no more than 80 centimeters, making even the most professional explorers unable to underestimate it. Especially since they are just a group of amateur adventure enthusiasts, not even fully equipped. After resting for 15 minutes, John led the team to set off again. He excitedly stuck his head into the tunnel. It's a bit narrow here, you'll need to suck in your stomach to get through, he reminded the people behind him. Then, he slowly felt his way forward, inching along bit by bit, and finally made it through the narrow passage. It's quite spacious up ahead, you can come through now. Luna followed closely behind. The others filed in one after another, following them. When it was my turn, I pretended to be anxious and shouted, this is too narrow, I can't get through. Luna covered her mouth and mocked, I always said girls shouldn't weigh over 100 pounds. Julia, your waist is so thick, you definitely won't make it through. Bullshit. At 7 meters tall and 50 kilograms, am I considered fat? John then turned back and said, give her a hand. In front of me was the girl in red. What a burden. She rolled her eyes at me and gave my arm a half-hearted tug. John, no, I can't pull her. John had no choice but to say to me, well then, how about you wait for us here? A normal expedition team would never leave a member behind. Caves are dangerous. Without sufficient supplies, getting separated from the main group can easily lead to death. But knowing full well what was about to happen, I simply said, sure. After that, I sat right where I was, conserving my energy. John and the others continued exploring the cave, moving farther and farther away from me. Through the thick stone wall, I heard his and Luna's muffled voices. There's a fork ahead. Wait, let me check the map. John, the left side is wider, we should go left. After a moment, John said dotingly, Luna is so clever. All right, everyone, follow me. Another narrow passage ahead. Everyone, be careful and pass through by inhaling, just like before. But the next second, John's voice suddenly became distorted and terrified. "No, it's a dead end ahead. Quick, back up." Inside the cave, chaos ensued. The path John led them on was a narrow passage no wider than 60 centimeters, with a downward slope of about 30 degrees. The cave twisted and turned, making it difficult for adults to even turn around. Now, they had no choice but to turn back and try to climb up again. The girl in red, who was originally at the very end of the line, now found herself at the front, panting heavily. She squeezed past the protruding rock wall, poked her head out of the cave entrance, drenched in sweat, and yelled at me, "Can't you see? Don't you know to give me a hand?" I nodded and said, "Oh." Then, I walked over to her, just as she had done to me earlier. My fingers lightly brushed her arm. "Oops, can't pull it." The girl in red angrily pounded the wall. "Haven't you eaten? Use some strength." The person behind grew impatient and forcefully pushed the girl in red forward. However, due to the angle, the girl in red's hip bones scraped heavily against the stone wall. "It hurts, stop pushing me." When she emerged from the stone wall, a patch of blood had stained the side of her pants at the hip, and her right ankle was sprained. She sat on the ground, glaring at me with resentment. The others, in their haste, didn't fare much better when they came out, each bearing more or less some scrapes and bruises. Finally, only Luna and John remained in the cave. "How could it be a dead end? The map clearly shows it's right here." Luna continued to argue. John comforted her. "It's okay, let's get out first." I shone the flashlight down the tunnel, only able to see Luna's legs flailing about. Wow, they went in head first. For a moment, I was at a loss for words. The tunnel slopes downward. In theory, it's best to enter feet first to avoid getting stuck and ending up upside down. After all, a person can die from being upside down for too long. John kept trying to push Luna out from the inside with his feet, but due to the cramped space and obstructed view, he couldn't see exactly where Luna was behind him, so his efforts were in vain, needlessly wasting his energy. A few minutes later, the others, having rested, also went to help. They took turns pulling Luna's legs, yanking them backward with all their might. Luna also cooperated by wriggling her body, but she was still stuck fast against a protruding rock, not moving an inch. After several failed attempts, the others also waved their hands and gasped for breath. "No way, too exhausting." The girl in red was a bit scared. "Maybe we should call the police." "Is it really that serious?" "We'll definitely get out," John said loudly. "Don't worry, I'm fine now. After everyone has rested, we'll tie the rope to Luna's foot and try again." The others also felt there was no need to call the police, so they drank some mineral water, massaged their sore muscles, and adjusted their breathing. I took a piece of compressed biscuit from my backpack and glanced at my watch out of the corner of my eye. It was 3 p.m. John has been trapped for 15 minutes. After taking another break, the others, as John instructed, tied the rope around Luna's legs and pulled backward with all their might. 1, 2, 1, 2. I stood at the very end, my hands loosely gripping the rope, pretending to pull with the same effort as everyone else. Luna screamed in pain. After about a dozen tugs like this, her entire body finally slid backward a bit. It moved. Others were inspired and once again worked together to pull the rope. Luna held onto the rock wall with both hands, using all her strength as her body slowly inched backward. In the end, the others dropped the rope, grabbed her feet, and pulled her out with all their might. "Ah!" Luna let out a scream. "What's wrong?" The girl in red stepped forward to check, only to see a deep gash of blood now marring Luna's cheek. "My face got scratched by a rock," Luna cried out. Her once delicate face now bore a bloody mark from the corner of her eye to the corner of her mouth, with the skin and flesh torn open. "Does anyone have something to stop the bleeding? Quick, look for it," everyone clamored. But after searching for a long time, none of these amateur explorers had thought to bring a bottle of alcohol. Finally, Luna could only take a tissue, sobbing as she pressed it against the wound. After comforting Luna, someone asked John, "John, are you okay now?" "I'm fine. What about Luna? Has she gone out?" After receiving a positive response, John finally felt at ease. Only then did the others begin preparing to rescue John. The strong beam of the flashlight illuminated the tunnel. Everyone leaned in to look. The gray rock walls on both sides tightly enveloped John. His upper body had squeezed into an unknown tunnel, leaving only his lower half in the passage where the others were trapped. From a distance, he looked like a sandwich cookie, 100 times worse off than Luna's situation. Someone had once discussed it. What is the most terrifying way to die? One of the highly upvoted answers was a picture of a person twisted and crammed into a toilet. a living person was forcefully squeezed into a narrow toilet. The trapped person, with their back arched and legs hugged, had no room to move and could only wait for death. John's current situation is exactly like this. At this moment, John spoke up. Can you come in, tie the rope to my feet and pull me out? To tie the rope to John's feet, someone would have to enter the cave headfirst again. But after what happened earlier, no one dared to take the risk again. At the moment of exchanging glances, suddenly, the girl in red pointed at me, her eyes filled with malice. Let Julia go, we've been struggling for so long and are all exhausted. Only Julia hasn't entered the cave from the start. Everyone chimed in. Right, isn't she John's girlfriend? She should be the one to step up. John inside the cave also agreed. Julia. Then it's up to you. The people around chimed in agreement. I coldly crossed my arms and looked each of them in the eye. I didn't go into the cave because I couldn't fit. Do you want me to get stuck at the entrance and delay the rescue for your John? Don't forget, John has been trapped for half an hour. Besides, you still remember I'm John's girlfriend. I'm afraid Luna is the one you consider the real sister-in-law. Luna covered her face and stammered. Julia, don't be jealous for no reason. John and I are just good friends. I cut her off directly. What kind of good friends hold hands like that? Guan Yu and Zhang Fei certainly didn't do that. Someone let out a long sigh. How about Luna goes into the cave again? You're the thinnest among us girls. This time, we'll hold on to you so you won't get stuck. Luna shook her head in fear and stepped back. No, I'm not going. John, having waited too long for a result, began to urge them. Have you all made a decision? I'm starting to feel a bit breathless. Finally, a boy with a lean frame volunteered to go into the hole. He tied the rope around John's feet and emerged from the hole without any major issues. Outside the tunnel, everyone began pulling again. 1, 2, the rope tightened and loosened under the strain, sweat pouring down everyone's foreheads. The rope slowly moved back a bit. It's working, John shouted excitedly to the outside. I've moved out a little. Everyone continued to pull the rope with great effort. Who would have thought that in the next second, the rope, unable to withstand the immense force, suddenly snapped. Bang, the broken rope whipped fiercely across the face of the person at the front of the line. All of us lost our balance abruptly and fell to the ground. As the rope snapped, combined with the force of gravity, John slid further into the depths of the cave, his body firmly wedged into the rock wall. John, are you okay? John struggled to respond. I'm fine. But the headlamp is broken, there's no light source now. Don't panic, we'll look for another rope. Everyone took out a new rope and tied it to John's leg again, but this time, no matter how hard they tried, they couldn't pull the rope. Despite sweating profusely, it was just stuck too tightly. Finally, someone said with a grave expression, we should call the police. John was trapped for 3 hours before everyone finally decided to call the police. John, we've called the police. Hang in there a little longer. That's right, the rescue team will definitely find a way. Everyone remained relatively optimistic, but I didn't think so in my heart. This cave was found by Luna online, located deep in Wild Mountain. It took us 2 full days of mountain trails to get here, so I'm afraid the rescue team won't be able to arrive anytime soon. After hanging up the emergency call, a group of people sat silently on the ground, speechless for a moment. Suddenly, the girl in red tightly grabbed Luna's collar and shouted, it's all your fault. It's because you misread the map that John got trapped. She took out the map and gestured. Didn't you say you often go exploring? How could you misread such an obvious fork in the road? One wide and one narrow. Someone started trying to mediate. All right, Luna didn't mean to do it. Luna began to sob softly. John heard the commotion and still had the heart to comfort Luna. Don't cry, Luna, it's okay. But his voice was so hoarse that he had little strength left. During this period of waiting for the rescue team, others occasionally tried pulling the rope, but to no avail. All attempts ended in failure. As for John, having lost the searchlight and being trapped in a narrow, pitch-black space for an extended period, he couldn't see anything. Gradually, a hint of fear crept into his voice, and he would ask us from time to time, are you still there? 5 hours passed, and the rescue team arrived. They were faster than I had imagined, likely using a helicopter. The rescue team leader asked us, who among you has a good relationship with him? Talk to him for a while to help ease his emotions. Just then, a dry voice came from inside the cave. Luna, are you there? Everyone then looked at Luna, but she stepped back, crying, no, I won't go. The rescue team leader persuaded her. He's been trapped for 7 hours now. Aren't you his friend? Can't you help him? Don't worry. We'll ensure your safety. Luna broke down and shouted, I'm not going, I want to leave. I want to get out of this godforsaken place." John fell silent. One of the rescue team members put on his gear and climbed into the tunnel. He held a drill in his hand, continuously boring into the rock wall, seemingly trying to expand the space inside the cave, but because the rock wall was too solid, after 5 minutes of chiseling, the cave only had a few more scratches. The stirred-up dust danced under the glow of the headlamp. John choked on it and coughed violently a few times. "No," the rescue team member shook his head, "the drill can't break through, and the dust and debris also pose a risk of suffocation for him." Upon seeing this, several other rescue team members began using some protruding rocks to secure the pulley. The rescue team leader took a moment to explain to us, "We will use the pulley to pull him up, don't worry. We've rescued over a dozen expedition teams using this method. Your friends will be safe and sound." It is now 9:45 p.m. John has been holding an inverted position without eating or drinking for a full 7 hours. Prolonged inversion can not only lead to suffocation but may also cause heart failure. "John, in my previous life, I took you away from the cave ahead of time, but you held a grudge and killed me with your own hands. In this life, is this really what you want, on the other side?" The rescue team fought against death, racing against time to install the pulley. The others took turns speaking to John at the tunnel entrance. "John, say something." John's voice was faint. I'm still here." They breathed a sigh of relief and continued to comfort John. "As long as you can talk, that's good." Little did they know, John's voice trembled, and he could barely speak clearly. It was clearly due to prolonged oxygen deprivation, which had caused brain damage. Finally, after the rescue team assembled the pulleys and ropes, they began pulling the rope. Several pieces of rubble were shaken loose by the immense force. I moved." John's faint voice gave the rescue team a much-needed boost of confidence. The rescue team pulled the rope even harder, while others comforted John. "Hang in there." To ease John's tension, a member of the rescue team started chatting with him. "You said you're 18 this year and just finished the college entrance exam. How did you do?" "I scored over 600. I can get into a top-tier university." "That's impressive. What major did you apply for?" "I applied for computer science. My mom said it's easy to find a job in that field, and eventually, I could earn a salary of several $100,000 a year." "All right, young man, you have a bright future ahead." Suddenly, with a bang, John let out a painful howl. "What's wrong?" Initially, John's lower body was in the previous tunnel, but because the rope had broken earlier, he had descended a bit further. As a result, there was an angular difference between his legs and the previous tunnel. If the rescue team continues to exert force, his legs will only slam hard against the rock wall. After analyzing the current situation, the rescue team leader said with a serious expression, "If we want to continue rescuing him, we can only break his legs." Gasps immediately echoed around them. "No, are you fucking here to save people or to harm them?" The rescue team captain was shoved back, steadied himself, and shouted sternly, "The situation is urgent." "Who's joking with you?" Luna, standing nearby, retreated to a corner, lowered her eyelashes, and pretended not to hear, but the next second, the angry crowd immediately turned their anger toward her. "Luna, you clearly can't read a map, so why are you pointing randomly? It's all your fault that John ended up like this." Luna was slapped across the face. She had remained silent all along. At that moment, she finally snapped, leaping to her feet. "Have you finished scolding me? Is this ever going to end? John is my lapdog. I can order him around however I want." "Why do you care?" "Stop arguing," John gasped, cutting them off. "Isn't there any other way?" The rescue team leader rubbed his temples and sighed. "There's no other way. The tunnel is too narrow. Our people can't go that deep. We can only use a pulley system to pull you out." John's voice began to tremble. "Can't we try another method? I'm only 18 this year, and I just finished the college entrance exam. If my leg is broken, how will I go to university?" The situation was at a standstill. The rescue team made several more attempts to pull the rope, but without exception, John's legs repeatedly collided with the stone wall, leaving them almost covered in blood. After a full hour of struggling, I faintly heard a boom. "Was that thunder?" I asked, my voice trembling. The others glared at me and scolded. "John has been trapped for so long, and you're still worried about whether it's thundering or not." But the rescue team's expressions instantly changed. One of the rescue team members couldn't help but curse. "Don't you know what rain can cause when exploring caves? Underground caves are natural connected vessels. As soon as it rains, the water level in the underground rivers rises. If we don't leave in time, we'll all drown. You dare to go down into the cave without knowing anything. You're really here to lose your lives." Hearing this, Luna was the first to react. She gripped the rescue team leader's arm tightly. "Forget about John. Get us out of here first." The girl in red took a deep breath. "Luna, how can you be so selfish? Are you saying we should just leave John behind?" Luna shouted. "What else? What does it matter to me if he lives or dies? Are you only satisfied if we all drown here?" The rescue team leader pushed Luna aside and contacted the rescue members on the ground via walkie-talkie. After a brief exchange, he turned around with a grave expression. "In an hour and a half, the light rain will turn into heavy rain. It takes at least an hour for us to return. So he only has half an hour left." Another deafening boom sounded. It struck close to our ears, as if divine wrath. At this moment, John, who hadn't spoken for a long time, finally spoke. Everyone present clearly heard his hoarse voice. "Then, break my legs. John's parents are rushing to Wild Mountain." The rescue team contacted the members on the ground via radio, asking them to call John's parents. Amidst the crackling static, the call connected. John's voice sounded weary and weak. "Dad, Mom. The rescue team said that if they want to save me, they have to break my leg." There was a commotion on the other end of the phone, and John's mother fainted on the spot. The rescue team leader explained the situation to John's father. Just as John's father was about to agree, John's mother woke up. "No," John's mother objected. "My son is only 18, and he got into a top-tier university. If his leg is broken, his whole life will be ruined. You have to think of another way." The rescue team leader tried to explain. "It's raining here. If we can't get your son out within half an hour, he'll be stuck here and drown." John's mother yelled. "I don't care, that's your problem." John's voice was faint as he said, "Mom, do you want me to die here?" John's mother fell silent. After a long while, a woman's earth-shattering wail came from the other end of the phone. John's father took the phone and said to the rescue team in a trembling voice, "Go ahead." After obtaining consent, the rescue team began preparing to break John's leg. Rescue team members crawled into the tunnel and started wielding sharp tools. Asterisk bang, asterisk, asterisk bang, asterisk, asterisk bang, asterisk. The commotion in the tunnel was terrifying. "The rain is getting heavier, move faster." The rescue team captain gripped the radio tightly, urging them on. John let out screams of agony. The sticky blood slowly flowed, mixing with the dripping rainwater in the cave and flowing into the underground river. After about a dozen strikes, the rescue team member wiped the sweat from his brow. "All right, his leg is broken now, let's keep pulling the rope." The rain grew heavier, beating against me through my raincoat. Everyone was silent, only the rescue team's heavy breathing was clearly audible. After a full 8 hours, John was finally freed. His lips were purple, his face deathly pale, and his legs were so weak that he nearly collapsed. As he was being helped away by the rescue team, he cast a heavy, dark look at Luna. Luna was frightened by that cold gaze and kept backing away. "It's not my fault, you chose that path yourself, you got stuck on your own." John didn't know where he got the strength from. As he passed by Luna, he suddenly lunged at her, his hands gripping her neck. "I've done so much for you, and this is how you treat me. It was you who said you wanted to go on an adventure, that's why I came with you. I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you." "Luna, give me back my legs." The two of them rolled around on the ground, their clothes soaked in mud. The rescue team scrambled to pull John up. "Stop fighting, let's go quickly. The water level is already rising." Luna sat up sideways, clutching her throat in terror, coughing so violently that tears welled up in her eyes. Yet no one cared about her anymore. Someone muttered softly, "Serves you right." In the heavy atmosphere, the rainstorm arrived. The rock wall became slippery due to the rain, making it difficult to climb. Fortunately, the rescue team had ropes and other equipment, so our return journey was relatively smooth. During the climb, I glanced back. I saw that the tunnel where we had just been was completely submerged by rainwater, with waves swaying and drifting. Finally, led by the rescue team, we safely returned to the ground. A dozen rescue workers, who had been waiting for a long time, quickly lifted John onto a stretcher and placed him into the vehicle. Someone took my hand and led me up. Boom! The moment my foot touched the ground, another thunderclap roared. The torrential downpour obscured my vision, carrying the earthy scent of the forest. In the distance lies an endless expanse of deep forest, mysterious and subtle. Everyone followed the rescue team and left the Wild Mountain cave, where they had nearly lost their lives, until being transported by the rescue team to the nearest hospital. I finally felt a sense of reality. Finally, it's over. The summer rain, it came quickly and left just as fast. After I was taken to the hospital by the rescue team, after the checkup, everything was fine. So I took the high-speed train all the way back home. The dining table was filled with a feast of delicious dishes. Dad was sitting on the sofa watching TV. Mom took off her apron and asked me in surprise, "Sweetie, why are you back all of a sudden? How was your trip?" My nose tingled with emotion, and I threw down my luggage, rushing into their arms. I began to enjoy my summer vacation. A few days later, a few close friends and I had all received acceptance letters from our dream schools one after another, so we made plans to meet up. At the dinner table, everyone started chatting about gossip. "Have you heard? The campus heartthrob John from our school broke both his legs. He's being treated at the provincial hospital right now." My chopsticks paused. "Didn't he just get into a top-tier university? What a shame." "Yeah. I heard his mom cries in his hospital room all day long." After the dinner party ended, I made a turn and headed to the provincial hospital. John lay in the hospital bed, staring blankly out the window. Beneath the blanket were his legs, which had been brutally broken. The summer heat is sweltering. A faint foul odor emanates from his bedding, likely because the caregiver hadn't changed his sheets in time. In my previous life, John graduated from a prestigious university and works at a major tech company, the pride of his family and friends. Now, however, he is as down and out as a stray dog. Seeing me, a glint flashed in John's eyes. "How did you get here?" "Breaking up with you," I said. "After all, you were only with me because of Luna, right? During our time together, the two of you have taken plenty of money from me." John lowered his handsome face. "I never expected Luna to be that kind of person." He curled the corner of his mouth in a sarcastic manner. "You were always the best to me. When I was with you, I didn't know how to cherish it." I didn't say anything. John spoke again. "Julia, could you come over and let me take a good look at you?" I pretended to comply and took a step forward, but the next second, a cold glint flashed. He actually pulled a fruit knife from the bedding and stabbed it straight into my chest. "Why?" He roared like a beast that had broken free from its reins, his expression crazed. "Why didn't you try to persuade me to leave the cave this time?" 14. With a clang, I kicked the fruit knife out of John's hand. Before I could subdue him, he himself fell straight from the bed due to his weak legs. "Now, he is nothing but a useless person." I rolled my eyes. "Even after being reborn once, you still haven't made any progress at all, only capable of helpless rage," he exclaimed in shock. You've been reborn too," I sneered. "You're an adult now. Do you really need someone else to take responsibility for the choices you make? Go ahead and tell me. Why should I persuade you to leave the cave? What do I stand to gain? The chance for you to strangle me with your own hands at the wedding." "John, oh John, you're such a man-child. I can't even stand to look at you for another second." After saying that, I walked straight out of the hospital room, leaving John sitting on the floor, shouting in frustration. Because John was taken to the hospital in time, although his leg was broken, he managed to survive the complications and his life was saved. After the summer vacation, he went to report at the university where he was admitted. However, his identity as a disabled person ultimately brought him many inconveniences. First, the student dormitory has no elevator, so his wheelchair couldn't enter the dorm, forcing him to rent a place off campus. Secondly, he was unable to participate in military training, missing the best opportunity to build relationships with his classmates, not to mention his sensitive and proud personality. Every time he went out in his wheelchair, he always attracted the attention of others, even if others had no ill intentions. John still felt that they looked down on him. At first, he still tried to prove himself with his grades, but the 8 hours trapped in the wild mountain cave caused irreversible brain damage to his mind. He found that his brain was becoming increasingly sluggish. Sometimes, staring at the words in a book for too long would make him dizzy, and he couldn't even understand the simplest text. His exam results were merely at the bottom of the class. Gradually, he started skipping classes, closing himself off, his mind growing dark and depressed, ostracized and isolated by other classmates. Finally, he took a leave of absence during his sophomore year. One day, while going to the hospital for a follow-up check, he happened to run into Luna. The white moonlight he held in his heart, after he became disabled, directly blocked him, unwilling to have any connection with him. Yet, it was because of Luna that he had fallen to this state. John slowly maneuvered his wheelchair, following Luna from a distance, neither too close nor too far. Luna was arm in arm with a middle-aged man dressed like a nouveau riche, chatting and laughing merrily. What a coincidence. I love traveling too, let me tell you. When I went exploring Wild Mountain before, there was an idiot who got trapped in a cave and had both legs broken. Isn't that hilarious? John couldn't take it anymore. He maneuvered his wheelchair forward, pressing Luna down beneath him. What's so funny? I was just accompanying you on the adventure. Why should I be the one with broken legs? John's eyes turned red as he grabbed Luna by the neck. Luna's limbs flailed and struggled in midair. A passerby stepped forward to help, but John exerted all his strength, his palms as hard as iron. His eyes filled with red veins. Looking like a madman, John publicly strangled Luna to death. Later, the police arrived. John was also sentenced to execution by firing squad for killing in public. Before his death, he kept murmuring, "It shouldn't have been like this, it shouldn't have been like this." When everything was finally settled, I suddenly remembered something and went to my parents' room in the middle of the night. Shaking them awake, my parents, still groggy with sleep, scolded me. "You really are a handful." With a serious expression, I told them about the possibility of a gold mine in the cave tunnel at Wild Mountain. Upon hearing this, my dad was so excited that he immediately did a sit-up. The next day, he went to Wild Mountain with the company's exploration director, bringing along the equipment. Sure enough, inside the cave, they discovered a massive gold mine. During my time in college, our family's company thrived thanks to this gold mine. The assets directly gained several extra zeros, and as a result, I became a second-generation rich kid. Everything from my past life seems like nothing more than a nightmare. Sunlight dispels the gloom. I walk toward my new life. After hearing the 2 stories above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Looking forward to hearing from you. If you liked this story, don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.